The Sox are now into June here in 2023, sitting at 26-32 on the season, but that's mainly because the Sox have won 7 of their last 10, but don't worry, it will not last. I can guarantee that. This team is not built to be going on 7 out of 10 winning streaks there, or winning bits, I should say, not streaks. Also, Yasmani Grandal, he headed into this season as a trade candidate in my mind because he's an expiring contract. Obviously, a guy we want to get rid of, try to get some value out of. But he's just been so incredibly bad this season, and his ratings are going down so much, obviously, that he just has no trade value in my mind. Like, could I go into the trade screen and just fleece some team for like a decent C potential guy who could like immediately take over as the catcher? Yeah, I could, because he's a B potential. But I'm not going to do that because that's not what we do here on the Jersey Born channel. But basically, Grandal's days might be getting numbered here on the south side, as he is looking to be a DFA candidate here possibly sometime this season. Meanwhile, Sebi Zavala, his backup, has an 800 OPS as his backup, so Zavala, not really the long-term option I would say, but he's a decent guy to keep around as possibly like, you know, a platoon guy, ideal backup sort of player. But he is, I think he's 29, so he's not going to be around for too long, I would say. But the biggest news is that Liam Hendriks is back. He has returned from his injury. He is now into the bullpen. He is the closer now as Kendall Graveman shifts to the setup role, and Jimmy Lambert is the odd man out as he is the one going down to AAA Charlotte. The White Sox are at home here on the south side at Guaranteed Rate Field, and they're going to be playing host to a division foe in the Detroit Tigers, another lowly team in this division. Take a look at the starter on the day for the Tigers. It is left-hander Tariq Skubal, making his 11th start of the season, and also take a look at the White Sox order he'll be facing, listed 1-9. Also take a look at the White Sox starter on the day. It's the right-hander Michael Kopech, making his 12th start of the season here for the White Sox. We'll start things off with him on the bump here, top of the first. Akil Baddoo, ground ball over to Andrew Vaughn, just completely misses on that one. The terrible fielding of Vaughn continues. Next batter up would be Riley Green, as Baddoo goes and swipes second base, gets himself in a scoring position. Green now still at the dish, and he hits one just right past Vaughn. Reaches out, yep, can't catch that one, goes through my glove, and Badoo's going to score from second base. Tigers strike first. Move things on bottom one now. Yoan Moncada spits on ball 4. He'll take a leadoff walk there to get himself on first base. Then it would bring up Tim Anderson as he proceeds to go perfect at the right center field. This one's going to bounce up off of the wall, and Moncada is going to score all the way from first base. An RBI double for Tim Anderson ties this game. We move things on top 2 as with 2 outs, Javi Baez grounds one up the middle for Detroit, and he's on first base with some 2-out hitting. Brings up the Wolfman, Nick Matone, as he goes out to left center field, and this one's going to get up off the wall. Baez is going to score all the way from first. An RBI double for Matone as it makes it a 2-1 Tigers lead. They're back out in front. Then a little broken bat swinging bunt here as Grandal cannot throw out the runner down the base paths in Baddoo, so it's runners on the corners here, as then Green pulls one out to right field, and it just keeps carrying into the seats. A 3-run blast for the Tigers there. Green's 6th home run of the season. It's now a 5-1 game as we move things on bottom of the third as Luis Robert Jr. chops one up the middle, and he gets himself on first base. Then it brings up Eloy Jimenez. He gets jammed inside at it, but it's going to bloop down the right field line. Robert's going to head over to third, and then the throw into the cutoff man gets there quickly. So now it's first and third here as Jake Berger rips one through the right side, and the White Sox start taking away. They get the second run there. Then it brings up Grandal. He singles. Everybody moves up 90 feet. Bases are juiced for Benintendi. He pokes one at the left field. Kerry Carpenter gives it a dive, and he cannot make the catch. So a couple runs are going to come in here, and then Grandal is going to be gunned down on the back end of the play at third base. So 2 runs come in. It's now a 5-4 ball game. 1-run game. Top 4 here. I mean, look at this. I mean, where's the defense? Charge that, Vaughn. Somebody should be covering for you. I mean, Vierling gets the infield single, then Kopech walks the next guy, and Baez Then Nick Matone comes up, ball gets away from Grandal, both runners move up, the Wolfman steps back into the box, and he goes down swinging on the fastball. So one down, runners on second and third upcoming. For Akil Baddoo, he chops one over to first base. Then Vaughn can do that. I mean, what's the deal, Vaughn? What's the deal? You can do that, but you can't field a simple ground ball. Run comes in anyways, even though I had him on bunt defense and he just wasn't. So it's 6-4 now, as we move things on to the top of the fifth, and Aaron Bummer comes on here for the White Sox, and he's immediately going to give up a little bloop shot inside out job from Eric Haas as he gets on first base. And then it brings up Kerry Carpenter. He grounds one over to Berger, gives it a dive, but it gets away from him, and then he's going to have himself an infield single, so back-to-back singles there for the Tigers. And then Bummer strikes out Meadows for out number 1. That would then bring up Jonathan Scope as he comes up and pops one up into center field. Robert gives charge, or that's actually Heredia playing center field. Heredia gives charge and makes the catch. And then 2 outs, it would be Veerling going out to left field, and the defense continues to be poor. What is that? Benintendi just completely misses it. 2 runs come in. It's now an 8-4 game as the Tigers extend their lead, just when the White Sox were starting to get back into it. Move things on bottom of 6 there, as you saw Grandal got on base with a single, then Remillard comes on to pinch run for him. And Benintendi then goes and pulls one into right field. That's going to get down into the corner. Remillard now over to third base. He will not score, but there are 2 runners here in scoring position, and Brendan White is going to enter the game, the right-hander here for Detroit, facing Guillermo Heredia, who's going to rip one over to the right side of the infield as a just fantastic play from Matt Veerling is made as he makes the sliding stab. Only 1 run comes in. Moncada gets another one in on a ground ball. 8-6 ball game here, bottom 6. Tim Anderson now, 2 outs, bloops one down the right field line. That hops up into the crowd. It is not into the crowd, it hops up into the fence as it's a 2-out double there. And then, unfortunately, Luis Robert grounds one out and nothing else going in there in the 6th. Move things on top 7, Reynaldo Lopez coming on to try to get things done out of the bullpen, and he would proceed to do just that. Blows a fastball right by Kerry Carpenter for out number 1. Austin Meadows, how do you do? See ya. He goes around, on the check swing, did not hold up. Curveball, out number 2, and then another curveball gets Jonathan Scope. Move things on to the 8th inning now, where Joe Kelly comes on for the 19th time this season, and he would proceed to get Matt Veerling on the knuckle curve for at number 1. Then it brings up Baez, and he whiffs through the curve as well. And then the Wolfman, Nick Matone, comes up, and he cannot hold up on a pitch either. Back-to-back innings of striking at the side for Lopez and Kelly. So after nothing going with the bats there for a few innings, it's now bottom 9, and the White Sox bats have their backs up against the wall. Luis Robert facing Alex Lang. Ground ball, nice play from Scope there for out number 1. And it brings up Eloy Jimenez. He's going to rip one into right field, but it's just foul. And then it brings up a 3-2 count later in the AB, and he whiffs through the curveball. That's 2 down in the inning now. Then it brings up Jake Berger with 2 outs. First pitch swinging, and he's just a little bit late on it, and it curves just foul. So once again, almost another big hit there, but instead Berger just goes down swinging on the curveball as Alex Lang shuts the door in the Sox face as they hold on to win this one 8-6 here on the South Side. Riley Green gets player of the game honors for the Tigers. He went 2 for 4 on the day with a home run, a double, and 4 runs driven in. Baddoo had 3 hits. Veerling had 2 hits. Benintendi went 4 for 4 on the day. Tim Anderson went 3 for 5, but their efforts were soiled as they only get 6 runs to the Tigers' 8. The Sox now hitting the road as the other team's going to be wearing pinstripes here. They're in the Boogie Down Bronx to take on the New York Yankees here. A team that is having a much better season than they are in real life in this one. They're actually towards the top of the AL East, but Sean Burke, the Massachusetts man, Maryland University pitcher, is going to be on the hill here for the White Sox. Recently called up from AAA Charlotte. Take a look at the Yankees order 1-9. And then starting on the day for the Yankees is Luis Severino. We'll start things off top half of the first inning. Yoan Moncada. He's going to rip one through the right side of the infield. The ground ball gets through. Leadoff knock for Moncada. Then it brings up Andrew Benintendi, the former Red Sox. Picks up where he left off with that team as he rips one into the short porch there. A 2-run blast, and the White Sox jump out to a 2-0 lead early here in this ball game. Then it brings up Luis Robert, still nobody out, and Severino, the ball gets away from him. Plunks Robert right on the arm guard. He'll take his base. Now 1 out with a man on second as Robert's over there in scoring position, and Gavin Sheets is going to pull one into right field. Robert's going to score from second. It's a 3-0 lead, so Burke has himself a bit of room to work with here, but still gets himself into a bit of trouble with the control. Walks the leadoff man in Peraza. Then with Judge at the dish, he goes and swipes second base. He's in scoring position. Judge now back at the plate. Control issues once again. Another walk. First and second here with 1 out in the inning. It brings up Stanton, who's going to hit a deep ball to center field, but it's going to be caught by Robert for out number 2. And then Rizzo grounds 1 over to shortstop. Anderson fires to second, and Burke gets out of the self-induced jam. Move things on, bottom 3 here. Jose Trevino is going to hit one out to left center field. This one's up against the wall, and the catcher of the Bronx Bombers has himself a leadoff double. Now with 1 out, brings up LeMahieu. He lines one into right field. Clint Frazier, how do you do? Against his former team, laying out, making the catch. Take another look at this one on the StatCast replay. Beautiful, 100% efficiency for Clint Frazier as he lays out and robs LeMahieu of an RBI base knock. So then with 2 outs in the inning, brings up Judge, and he would proceed just to pop one up into shallow left field. Tim Anderson ranges back into the grass, and he'll put it away for out number 3. Top 4 now. Eloy Jimenez comes up, 104 off the bat into right center field. That bounces up off against the wall, and Eloy has himself a leadoff double there as he slides around the tag. Then it brings up Gavin Sheets as he grounds one over to first base. Rizzo just tosses to Severino, who covers first, steps in the bag. Now 2 outs, runner on third, and Anderson's going to ground one through the middle, and now the White Sox have a 4-0 lead in this game. Move things on, bottom 4, Giancarlo Stanton, 100 miles an hour off the bat through the right side of the infield. That finds a hole. Leadoff single, and it brings up Rizzo. Another hard-hit ground ball gets through. Back-to-back singles here for the Yankees. Brings up Gleyber Torres, and he's also going to find a hole through this White Sox Swiss cheese defense. And it's bases juiced now here for the Bombers as Oswaldo Cabrera hits one to deep center field. Robert cannot make the Willie Mays catch, but they all had to hold up just in case he did, so only 1 run is going to come in as the perfect cutoff throw, or not really perfect, but I guess the runner was so slow in Rizzo that he was able to get the tag slapped on there anyway, so only 1 run comes in, and then the next batter up in Bader is intentionally walked to set up the double play opportunity, and it works to perfection. Burke somehow gets out of that, only giving up 1 run. Move things on, bottom 5 now, and the Yankees bats go right back to it after picking up the 1 run last inning. This time it's Peraza, grounding one up the middle for a base knock to lead off the inning. Then it's LeMahieu. Nobody's getting this one. Left center field. That's going to roll slowly into the gap. And the runner scores easily. It's an RBI double for LeMahieu. And that would end Sean Burke's day as Gregory Santos comes in out of the bullpen here for the Sox. His 25th appearance of the year. And Aaron Judge would immediately say welcome to the game as he rips one into left center field. That's another 2-bagger for the Yankees. They score another run. It's now a 1-run game. So Giancarlo Stanton comes up, rips one into right, and it's now runners on the corners here as, once again, the fielders do not cover first base on throws like that. Ground ball. Somehow the infield wasn't in. I could have sworn I did it, but apparently it wasn't, so they tie the game on the ground ball there. 4-4, move things on top 6. Where Luis Robert's going to hit one to right field, and that would end Severino's day as Johnny Brito enters the game for the 18th time here for the Yankees. Runner on second now with 1 out as it brings up Gavin Sheets, and he's going opposite field off the fence there, and that's going to drive in a run. The Sox reclaim their lead here. So move things on, top 7 now. Sebi Zavala with 1 out, rips one right back up the middle. Brito still on the hill, and then Moncada, he's going out to right center. He squishes that one, and Zavala Slow runner only going to end up at third base. So here, 2 runners in scoring position for the Sox, and then Benintendi pokes one through the left side. That'll score 1, move another up to third base. 6-4 Sox lead. Runners on the corners. Luis Roberts hitting one out to deepish, not really, medium-ish left field, let's say. And then tagging, but thinking twice about it, is Moncada, and then he gets caught in no man's land. That's a toot bland. He's at a third base, but it's a 6-4 lead here for the White Sox as we move things on. Bottom 7, Reynaldo Lopez comes on here for the Sox. And Giancarlo Stanton once again finds a hole through the infield defense. 104 off the bat. Brings up Anthony Rizzo, and that's not good. Opposite field, just a high arcing shot. Gets in there. The short porch and left, not as short as right, obviously, but still not exactly long. It's not exactly Baltimore here in the Bronx. So it's a tie game here as we move things on. Top 9, Tim Anderson gets on to lead off the inning, and then Clint Frazier comes up. Anderson steals second to get himself in a scoring position, uncontested, and then Clint Frazier delivers again against his former team. How do you do, Clint? My goodness, a 2-run blast gives his new team, the White Sox, an 8-6 lead here in the 9th inning. Move things on to the 9th. Liam Hendriks looking for his first save and his first appearance of the season. Gets the first out by striking out LeMahieu. Then it brings up Judge. Line drive right at Benintendi. That's 2 down. Brings up Stanton. Chops one over to third. Moncada, easy play for him. 1-2-3 inning. Hendriks gets the save, and the White Sox battle to win the game here on the road. 8-6 is your final as the Southsiders come out on top. Benintendi picks up Player of the Game honors. He was 2 for 5 on the day with a home run and 3 runs driven in. Tim Anderson had 2 hits. Clint Frazier had the go-ahead home run in the 9th. And of course, Liam Hendriks gets his first save and his first appearance of the season since returning from the IL. So we are now about halfway through the month of June here in the 2023 campaign, and like I said, that little winning spurt that the Sox had there a little bit ago did not last. They are currently on a 7-game losing skid, but there are a couple more updates that are a bit encouraging and a couple ones that are not encouraging. One of them, Andrew Benintendi, has started to turn things around. He's actually getting on base. He's hitting like 290-ish. We're going to be moving him into the leadoff spot because the next man, Yoan Moncada, who has been our leadoff man, has been awful. His OBP is at 307 right now. That's completely unacceptable for an leadoff man. I know he doesn't lead off in real life, but in this game I was just looking at the roster, and really I like to have a high discipline guy, and really the only high discipline guys on this team are him, Andrew Vaughn, and Yasmani Grandal. Obviously we're not going to lead off Grandal. Vaughn isn't really a leadoff guy to me. Moncada, figured I'd throw him in there. He hasn't been good getting on base, so we're going to drop him down the order. Benintendi's now leadoff. Also, Jake Berger, he has been not good. I saw it pop up in one game that he was hitting like absurdly low with runners in scoring position, so I looked at that in the stats. 105 with runners in scoring position as like a consistent 5, 6, or 7 hitter in our order. Not exactly what you want. And then unfortunately, on the pitching side of things, Dylan Cease is still struggling on the mound as well. The Sox are once again hitting the road here, but this time they're heading out west to take on the Seattle Mariners here, looking to snap this 7-game losing streak here and avoid the sweep by this Mariners ball club. Here at T-Mobile Park, it's going to be Lance Lynn towing the slab here for the Yankees, making his 5th, or for the Sox, what am I saying? For the Sox there. Take a look at the Mariners lineup, as well as Brian Wu making the start here for the Mariners. Take a look at the White Sox order listed 1 to 9 on the day. We'll start things off top half of the first inning. Luis Robert Jr. gets a high pitch and just clubs that one into left center field. That's into the bullpen. A 2-out home run gives the Sox a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first. We move things on, bottom of the first now. How about another 2-out high pitch, another hanging slider up in the zone, just like the Robert one, and then same location as well. Just Julio Rodriguez, you can do it, I can do it too. So he goes and ties the game. Bottom 2 now, Teoscar Hernandez hits a laser into left field. That's going to get over the head of Benintendi, and he's got himself a leadoff double. Then it brings up A.J. Pollock, who proceeds to pop one up into left field. Benintendi will make the out on that one. And then with One out brings up Jared Kelenic. Dots the outside half is Lynn. That's out number 2 with the strikeout. And then Shiner whiffs through the curveball as he strands the runner on second base. Lynn locked in after that first inning home run from Rodriguez. Move things on top 4 here. A line drive. Home run from Eloy Jimenez. The 2 big boppers in this order, they each have a solo shot, as that is the difference in this game. 2-1 White Sox in the lead, but then Eugenio Suarez comes up and he rips one into left center. That's off the wall. A 1-out double brings up Teoscar Hernandez, and he just squishes on this one. My goodness. That one's out of here. Another left center field home run. The ball is carrying out this way here in Seattle today. 7th home run of the season from Teoscar. Move things on top 6 as it's now a 3-2 Seattle lead. And Jimenez with a 2-out base knock. That's going to get up off the wall. It's a double. He's in scoring position. Brings up Gavin Sheets as he proceeds to rip one into right center field. That's going to score Jimenez from second base. And Sheets has himself a double as he just trades places. And it brings up Andrew Vaughn, who comes to the dish. And he's also going to do a little bit of trading places. He goes out to left center field. And now he's on second base. It's now a 4-3 White Sox lead as they reclaim it. Penn Murphy somehow wanders off the campus of Santa Clara, doesn't get an evil tech job, and instead finds himself in the Mariners bullpen. As Elvis Andrus comes up, hits one into left field, moves up the runner 90 feet, so it's runners on the corners here. But then Sebi Zavala whiffs through the slider as Murphy strands 2 on the bases. Move things on bottom 7 now. It is Jared Kelenic hitting one to deep right field, and he just missed that one. Somehow didn't carry out of here. We now move things on bottom of the 9th. Liam Hendricks come on looking for the save, and he is going to get just that. Shuts the doors, he strikes out Suarez. And the White Sox hold on to win this one. They battle back. 4-3 is this victory here for the Southsiders. Eloy Jimenez picks up Player of the Game honors on the day. He had a home run and a double, scored twice. Luis Robert had a homer. Sheets had 2 hits with a double. Vaughn had 2 hits with a double. And then Lance Lynn held the Mariners to only 4 hits on the day. A couple of them are home runs, so that's why obviously they scored 3 runs. But still gets the job done. Impressive 7 innings, only 4 hits, 7 Ks, 1 walk, and 3 earned on the day. So with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Chicago White Sox franchise here at MLB The Show 23. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I am saying, how many times are they going to tell you your heat shouldn't be that hot?